Auburn's round one opponent is set, but we're going to dive into this second round matchup. And how does Auburn get hot again? Yes, sir. We're back. It's another episode of the Barn Hoops Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Rush, and we got my man, Zep Jasper, ready to break down this NCAA tournament draw. We're going to talk first round matchup very quickly, and then we're going to dive deep into this round of 32 matchup. We're finally healthy for maybe the first time all year. And then what does Auburn got to do to get hot again? Got to get hot again. A little cold over the last two games. How do you get hot from three again? How do you get hot from the field again? Auburn's got to do it if they want to make a run. We're going to jump all into that in here in just a second. But before we do that, we got to give a shout out to Uncle Keith's Red Sauce. Go to UncleKeith'sRedSauce.com. Use coupon code TheBarn25. Take 25% off your order. If you live in the state of Alabama, any Publix, you can find it. If you live in Birmingham, not only can you go to Publix, you can go to any Piggly Wiggly and you can find it. If you're in Auburn, you got Publix, you got any Kroger that you can find. And if you don't live near any one of those, just go to the website. And you can buy in bulk, save there, and save with the coupon code. It's good stuff, Southern-style salsa with a kick. Auburn family, Auburn fans, show them some love. Uncle Keith's Red Sauce. It's good, y'all. Zep, how about that ending, dog? That ending of that Alabama State St. Francis game. That was pretty wild.
That was a wild one. I would never in my mind think a game would end like that.
Dude went deep, didn't he? He went deep cross court through the Hail Mary bomb with 2 seconds left, and it bounced around for a minute. Alabama State puts it in, and they are traveling from, I guess, Dayton straight to is that where they are? Dayton straight to Lexington. They said it's 500 miles, so they're going straight to Lexington.
Straight to Lexington.
So, I mean, look, it's a 1 versus 16, and it's not only a 16, it's a 16 play-in. And, look, Alabama State's had a decent year, 20-15. They've got a couple of guys that can shoot it, but you feel like, Auburn's going to be a heavy favorite. Mindset for games like this, Zep, what do you do? How do you have the right mindset for a game like this just to go in and handle business?
What the mindset is, don't take no team for granted. As everyone has been speaking on Auburn, they speak on Yale, which was I don't know what the seed was last year, but
3 of them. 3 or 4.
3, yeah, I think 3 or 4. But still, you take no team for granted. They put on their shorts just like we put on our shorts.
Yep.
This is March Madness. Everyone gets confidence. Guys that would go to Alabama State, they haven't had a chance to ever play in the NCAA tournament ever in their life. This is a dream come true, so they're gonna give it their all. But I think the way we handle this and the way we approach it, going this game, play super hard, play super tough. I don't think they played an Auburn team like this before. And shout out to their coach just for getting this far and having another Alabama team in this tournament.
No doubt, man. That's the coolest thing about it. Hey, we're going all the way to Lexington, and we're going to play a team that's just 40 miles up the road. I think that's kind of cool. I'm looking at their schedule. They did play Cincinnati. That's probably the biggest team they play. They got beat by like 20. I don't know, SMU. They got beat by like 30. They played an SEC team. They played Missouri. They lost 82-65 at Missouri. So they have played some SEC. So they got a little bit of experience playing, some of the SEC competition. Played a couple of big teams, but again, haven't played anybody like Auburn. I just think Auburn, this is a game where you go in, and it's kind of like in football, man. You try to put them away in the first half. Put them away in the first half, and then just kind of not necessarily coast, but handle the business early so you can rest some folks, so you can get your, maybe work on some things that you need to work on. But that first half, it needs to be running, gunning like you're playing in the national championship. That first half, like you've got to have that mindset to get in there and handle business. So Auburn should coast through that one. Hopefully, 20-plus point victory. And then you take on the winner of, and we talked about this before we recorded, the winner of Louisville and Creighton. I'm not necessarily that concerned about either team, but I'd love to get your thoughts on which one you think is the better matchup for Auburn, and then just overall how you feel about Auburn going into that game, that second round game.
Um, well, matchups, I like both of us in both matchups. When I look
Yeah,
at both teams, um, I don't think they played against guys who play defense to your chest. And what I mean by to your chest, I mean guys like as soon as you get the ball, pressure is right on you. Like
yeah,
Auburn have a defense where guys haven't seen that type of defense all year. I don't think Louisville have seen that type of defense. I don't think Creighton have seen that type of defense. I see a lot of people think Auburn got disrespected. Me being a player, I don't think we got disrespected because it's like it's Louisville, it's Creighton. They really haven't been great teams all year. For to me, honestly,
no,
Louisville's in the ACC, which the ACC was pretty bad this year. They
very
lost to
bad.
Duke both times without one with Cooper Flag, one with Cooper Flag, and they played at Louisville.
Got
Um,
stroked by Ole Miss at home.
uh,
Absolutely stroked by 23 points by Ole Miss
and
at home.
they don't have a Louisville don't have a big.
They
I
don't.
can't. You look at their roster. I can't name a big. They got a good point guard,
They
but
got one guy that can fill it up. What's
Terrence
his name?
Terrence Terrence Edwards.
Well, not Terrence is good too, but they got one guy that shoots like 38% from three.
Oh, Rain Smith.
Rain, yeah, his name. I remember because his name was Rain.
Rain.
Rain,
But
yeah,
he's another guy. You guard him to their chest, they
yeah,
won't be able to get nothing. They haven't seen the Auburn defense. Pat Kelsey is a great coach, great mentor, but I just can't see both of those teams beating us. Which Creighton have a great big man, one All American third team big man, but it's just one guy who we would focus on, and we have a big man that could actually score on that type of caliber type player.
for sure. Someone made a good point in a group chat I was in, and they said that they would obviously rather play Louisville because they feel like if it's a guard focused offense, they just love Denver. They love Chad. They love all of our guards playing defense, like lockdown. Like, in other words, if your strength is your guards, well, guess what? So is ours. And we like our guards better than yours. So I think that's sort of, I guess I haven't really looked at it that way, but that would be what your matchup is with Louisville. So I'm with you a little bit. I think that Louisville's probably the easier matchup, even though it's only an hour away. They're only, even though they're only from an hour away from Lexington, which is kind of
Mhm.
wild to think. But Creighton's an interesting team because I'm just looking at their schedule, and they've played some tough teams. They've lost to a lot of those teams, Alabama being one. Uh, but you're right that they're sort of they run everything through their center, Ryan Kalkbrenner. He's a 7-footer. He's not a heavy 7-footer though.
Not
So
heavy.
that's a big thing. If he's 7 foot, 260, 270, that's one thing. But he's very light. So he's it's not like he's a banger. He's a
Mhm.
sort of
Finesse.
a finesse 7-footer.
Finesse.
And if it was a guy that liked to get in there and mix it up and didn't mind contact, I would say, hey, that I might be a little bit worried. But again, man, I just think this. Tell me what you think about this, Zep. If Janai hits the fadeaway against Alabama at the buzzer, okay, just
Mhm.
change that one play. Auburn wins that game. 99.9% of the game doesn't change. Like, the game still played the exact same way. 99.9% of the way. You just change that one play. What do you think? What do you think Auburn fans are thinking? If Janai hits that one shot, Final Four. Hey, we're Final Four. We're going to the championship. But you take that one play, and it changes the whole aspect of how I feel like we viewed these last 3 or 4 games. And I don't know, man. I love this team. They're healthy right now, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. I just don't have the I don't have the hesitancy. I don't have the reticence. I don't have the concerns that I feel like I'm seeing out there.
I actually agree too. I just like I'm with you on it. I just don't have the concern. Like I love this team. Like I love them to go all the way. It just I don't see no fear into no team we play. Like that's how confident I am in this team and whoever we match up with. Like I'm tired of people. I keep saying, "Oh, matchup this, matchup that." Forget the matchup. Whoever you put us in front of,
Yeah.
that's who we want.
Yeah.
I don't care about that because at the end of the day, we all got to play basketball. And we all got to. At the end of the day, if we make it to the Final Four, the championship, we got to win.
Yeah.
It's nothing else we can't do. We have to win.
You've seen everything. You've seen everybody. Like, what could there be out there that you haven't already experienced? This team's already experienced. I mean, my God, 33 games, you play 24 tournament teams. I, I mean, you played that Maui field, and there's multiple teams that are top seeds in the tournament. You 16 quad one wins, the most quad one wins in a regular season. I think tied the record for the most quad one wins ever. Played the most quad one games ever. I mean, what else could this team? What else? What could you throw at this team that they haven't already seen? Like that's the point. That's the thing I can't get past. Like I'm not hung up on the last 4 games because I know the context around it. I know they had already clinched the SEC championship before the last 2 games of the regular season. I know more than likely they had already clinched the #1 overall seed. I'm sure they didn't want to lose to Texas A&M, didn't want to lose to Alabama, but it's not like, again, when you take the whole body of work and look at it, it's just hard and put the correct context around it. I just don't. I don't have the concerns that I typically, that I may have in general. I just think this team's good. And then the big thing is, one of the big reasons is because they're healthy, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. But before we do that, make sure to sign up for MyBookie.ag. Use that coupon code BARN for a 50% deposit bonus. Give them $100. They're going to give you 50 back free to play on top of it, to play with on top of it. You still got time to get started on the NCAA tournament. March Madness has already started. The play-in games have already started. Hey, you still got time for the tournament though. So get signed up, take advantage of those that free play money, and win big. It's MyBookie.ag. Zep, it's no question that towards the end of the season, we're pretty banged up. You got Janai, who's it could be it's an ankle, it's a shoulder. He plays, he goes through a ton of contact every single possession. It seems like just a physical game that he has to continue to grind through game after game. And then you had Denver, who's banged up. You've had Chad that's had rib injuries and things like that. Bruce said shortly after, I believe, at some point in time after the game or in practice this week, said that he felt like this team is the healthiest they've been all year. So my question to you is, well, it's not even really a question. I guess it's a statement. It's like, if this team is finally healthy, what are they capable of? If we've just been banged up all year and you just walk through the best SEC conference, maybe the best conference ever, this team healthy, man, that's scary.
It's super scary because, like I say, like you said, a lot of players been banged up. Um, it's all right to take games off a couple of times, but it was like this team was on a mission. It's no matter if the ankle was hurting, shoulder was out of place. Um, it just was like we gotta win games. We gotta make history.
Yeah.
Every game was history, and I'm with you. It's like once we got towards the end of the season, once we figured out that we clinched the regular season championship, it was like, okay, cool. It's all right to lose against Texas A&M. Like, okay, we lost. It's cool. We lost to Alabama. It's cool. But we always talk about this before we get on the show. We know team SEC teams are good. The top 4 SEC teams, they're all great teams. Like they can beat anyone in the country
Any day. Yeah.
without a doubt, any day. It's just about who days is it and stuff like that. But I just think this team is very healthy, and I think they finna make a big run and they finna make history.
Yeah. I'm healthy. Auburn ought to scare a lot of people, I would imagine. You've been in the crosshairs of everyone all year, and you've done a little bit of it hobbled. Healthy Auburn is a scary Auburn. Last thing, real quick, Zep. You've been on teams. You've been on teams that have been on hot streaks. You've been on teams that have had some cold streaks. When you hit a little cold stretch where, there's a lid on it, man. You can't figure it out. There's just a lid on it. Can't go. It's not going in. How do you fix it? What do you do to fix it? What do you do to get back hot again? This Auburn team has been just sharpshooters from three all season long. You go to Nashville for whatever reason, even though you win the first game, you're a little bit cold from three. Sometimes maybe those layups aren't going in like they used to. You just sort of feel like you can't buy a bucket. How do you fix that? How do you get back right before you head into Lexington, Kentucky, ready for the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament?
Well, I think this week of practice is going to be very key. Guys knowing that this can be your last week playing in an Auburn jersey. Those 10, 11 seniors, this could be their last time hearing BP yell at them saying, I need you to do this, I need you to do that. Those guys don't want that to happen. Those guys want to keep hearing BP yelling at them in practice to get to the championship. I just think it's an effort, energy type thing. Guys know if you lose now, you go home. It's no other way around it. But I think the effort and the energy will boost their confidence to get to make those shots. Once they see a couple go in, I just feel like this team have a high confidence level that they can, like I say, once a few of those shots go in, I think we'll catch fire.
I love the way, and it's the reward for being a 1 seed. I love the fact that you get a team like, Alabama State or St. Francis, a 16 seed to start off with, because if you handle it the right way, you can turn that flame on real quick. You can get that thing going and get it burning hot real quick. Get out there and handle business, and it can be a get right game. And you're sort of set the tone for the rest of the tournament. I mean, it means a lot, even regardless of the opponent, to go out there and win a game by 20 plus points. Especially if you're shooting well doing it. You got to win by any means necessary, but I just feel like this team needs to see some threes fall on Thursday to get that train rolling back, man. 1:50 on Thursday will kick it off. And that's Central Standard Time. So it's going to be a blast. Zep, you going to make it to Atlanta if Auburn gets past the first 2 rounds? I can't wait for Atlanta.
I'm not sure yet, but I might try to make it to Atlanta.
Yeah, we need to make it to Atlanta. That'd be a blast.
We gonna make it to Atlanta. I got the extreme confidence of us making it to Atlanta this year. And shout out to the haters too. I want to give a shout out to the haters because I didn't got in like 3-4 arguments this week. Just being on social media and guys like saying like Auburn got to get past Louisville. And I'm like, get past Louisville. I'm like, why do you want us to lose so bad? Like, a lot of people want us to lose.
We got PTSD, man. I think some fans, and you may be talking to people that aren't necessarily Auburn fans, but I think Auburn that I've been hearing it from Auburn fans too, and I think we just have PTSD. You just got to we got to see it happen so we can feel like we got to break a curse or something like that. I don't know. I've seen a lot of the same type things, and Auburn very well. I mean, nothing's impossible, I don't guess, but there should be nothing about the last 4 games. There should be nothing about, what's happened in the past in the tournament should have any effect on what happens on this team this year. That they got to handle business themselves this year, and nothing about that is going to play one way or the other. They got to go out there. They got to do it. And I feel good about them doing it. I can't wait to watch them tip this thing off and get rolling. So, Zep, tell everybody how they can find you, how they can support you.
On Twitter at RIP_QUAN5, Instagram at RIP_QUAN12.
Yes, sir. You can follow me on Twitter, _Charlie_5. Like and subscribe. Get in the comments. Let me know what you think. How you feeling about the draw? Which matchup would you rather see, Louisville or Creighton? And we'll be back again soon, breaking down all this tournament action. It's another episode of the Barn Hoops Podcast.